guys, it's Sam and I have reached 4,000 subscribers. Thank you so much yet again. I know I do the exact same thing basically every time that I reach a 1,000 subscriber mark, but I really wanted to keep thanking all of you who've been here for a while and thank the new people that have joined up. I absolutely adore all of you. Thank you so much for commenting, for tweeting me, for friending me on Goodreads, and it's just crazy. I still can't believe that I have reached 4,000 subscribers. It's nuts. Like, I know those of you that have been around for a while have heard me say this in every video when I reach a marker, but I honestly thought when I first made my channel that I was going to have less than 100 subscribers for the longest time. It's just crazy that so many of you are talking to me about books and are taking my recommendations and going and buying certain books that I like, and it's just nuts, and I'm so thankful for all of you, and I'm so grateful, and I'm beyond words for you guys because you guys are awesome. And thank you so much. So as I announced a little while ago when I said I was getting kind of close to 4,000, I want to do a Q&A this time around. So some of you asked me some questions on that video and I have them for you here now. The first question is from my good friend Sarah Jane of The Book Life. And she asked me to describe your ideal book that hasn't been created yet, smiley face. So Sarah Jane is a writer and she is currently writing a book that really appeals to me in a lot of ways when we talk about her synopsis and stuff and the different characters that she has. So it's kind of like a wink to her because your book, duh. But I really enjoy, as I've said before, pirate books, and I feel like there's not a ton of pirate books. So if there was like a really well done pirate book, that would be my ideal. But basically any book with a criminal character, like Sarah Jane's, wink wink. The Reading Robot asked a very similar question, and that was, if you could write a book, what genre would it be in? And it would probably be fantasy. I read the most fantasy, so I feel like I could actually write fantasy, and I think I'd actually write like some kind of fairy tale retelling or Greek mythology retelling. At this point, like, I don't have an original story in my head. I don't want to be a writer at this particular point in my life. So I don't have any kind of original story in my head, but if I could base a story and spin it off of an existing story, I feel like I could do that much better. The lovely Sabrina from Steakachino asks, if you could own any book in first edition, or if it's newer and the first edition is easier to get than signed to you by the author, what would it be? And that's a really hard one. I don't have a ton of like books that are really old that I feel like I really need a copy of. I can't really think of one. I'm sure there is one, but I really can't think of one. And as far as a newer book that I would like signed by the author, again, I like going to book signings and I like talking to authors, but the actual signed portion isn't as important to me as it is to some people. Like, I don't really care as much. It's more like the interaction with the author than the actual signed book. So that's really hard. But it would probably be getting Kirsten Kashur to sign my Graceling series because I just really love that series and I really love her characters. So if she signed those books, I feel like I'd be at that signing and I could talk to her about how much I love those characters. So. The next question is from Olivia Reeds, and that is favorite trilogy that you would recommend. This was a hard question because of the series that I have finished, I have like 3 favorites, so I'm going to just mention all of those right now. Piggybacking off the last question, the Graceling trilogy by Kirsten Kashur is amazing. It is a fantasy series and each book is actually a companion novel, so they take place at different times and the main female protagonist is different in each book. But they're done so well and they're woven together so well and the characters are amazing. All the female leads are super strong female characters in different ways. And the romances in here are all very different, and for a YA, the things that are said about romance and sex and stuff like that in these books without being explicit is really good and really different. The next series should come as no surprise to anybody, and that is the Shatter Me series by Tara Mafi, but I feel a little bad recommending this because honestly, like, I wouldn't even recommend Shatter Me as a book. Like, I really just didn't like it. But obviously you have to read it to get to the rest of them, so yeah. But my favorite books in the series are the last 2, and when I eventually do reread this series, which will probably be very soon, I will not reread Shatter Me because I don't like it. So can we just pretend that this is a 2-book series? I know you need this one, but let's just pretend that it didn't happen. And a series I feel like anybody could enjoy is Under the Never Sky by Veronica Rossi. It is so addictive. It is a mix of everything. If you like sci-fi, if you like fantasy, if you like dystopia, it's all in here. The romance is on point and is really good for a YA romance. I'm going to be doing actual like series review on this soon, and the romance is so good. It doesn't do any of the typical YA tropes. It's so good. So yes, I think overall I would recommend this series the most to somebody who just doesn't really know where to go for a YA series because it has something for everybody. Nice and long-winded response because you know I just can't pick one favorite. Ever. Ever. The next questions are from Theo Potterhead, who asked me a few more book-specific questions. And she said, can you describe what your idea of A Christmas with Warner and Juliet is? And that is Warner and Juliet from Shatter Me. And I talked about this a little bit in the Christmas holiday sweater book tag, and I just picture them going to like Christmas parties and ugly sweater parties, and Juliet dragging Warner along and him not really wanting to go but going because she loves it and she's all bubbly and happy for once in her life, and he's just like meh, and he doesn't want to go and he's all grouchy, but then she starts like dancing with him under like mistletoe or something and he like kind of smirks and like yeah. So that's what I picture. I'm not a really big headcanon person, but I am for that couple, and that's kind of the image I get of Christmas with them. Next question was favorite part from the night circus. And I'm not going to do any spoilers here, I'm just going to say a few things that people that have read the book will understand, but that you will not be spoiled for if you haven't read it yet. I really enjoy Tsukiko as a character, and some of the things you learn about her later on in the story I really enjoy and I still think about. Yes, and I really enjoyed the Revers, I think is how I pronounce it. It's French, and I don't know how to say it exactly, but I really enjoyed them, and I want to like be them. And then all of the different tents that you get to see within here are just beautiful and wonderful, and the imagery is like, oh my god, and yeah. I plan on rereading this book this year, and I'm really looking forward to it, let me tell you. And her last question was, did you enjoy your holiday? And yes, I did. Thank you very much. I went home for the holidays and it was nice. It was relaxing and I got to see everybody that I wanted to see, family and friend-wise, as well as sleep in. And the next question is from Jade Reed, and she said, what are some popular books that you've read and didn't really enjoy? And I've talked about some of these before, so it really should come as no surprise to anybody. The first one is The Maze Runner by James Dashner. Matt didn't like it. I tried to read it 3 times. Cue like 5 comments being like, that's my favorite series of all time! And I'm sorry, but I just didn't like it, and I tried to like it, and I can't, and I don't like it. The next is Across the Universe by Beth Revis. I really wanted to like this, and I just didn't. I'm considering giving this another try because maybe I just wasn't in the right mindset for it, but I just couldn't connect with the characters. I didn't really like the romance. And yeah, it was just weird. Also, I'm not a big fan of David Levithan as a writer. I've read a few things by him now and I just can't connect to it. I just don't like it for some reason. I really want to. And I like his writing style sometimes, like some of the things that he puts in some of the sentences that he creates are like really well done, and I like some of the quotes from his books, but his books as a whole I don't really enjoy that much. And I want to, like, really bad, and I just can't for some reason. I just can't connect to him, and yeah. But I actually did a review for Everyday, which I will link down below if you guys are interested in my thoughts on that. But yeah, those are 3 I can think of off the top of my head. The next question is from Jamie Joyner, and she asks, what are your top 5 favorite contemporary books? And this is a really hard question because I'm not a huge contemporary reader. I recently bought a lot of them, which are coming up in a book haul, but I never read contemporary before starting BookTube. And since starting BookTube, I haven't read a ton of it, and a lot of it that I have read, I haven't really enjoyed. So I'm not sure if I'm going to get to top 5, but we will see which ones I find that I really enjoyed. So it might be like only 3 or so. Probably my favorite contemporary book of all time is from Audrey Niffenegger, and it is The Time Traveler's Wife. This is an adult contemporary, and it does have magical realism in it, so it's kind of cheating, but it technically is a contemporary, and I love this book so much. I watched the movie first, and I actually really enjoyed the movie, but the book is so different, and I love them both for different reasons, and equally for different reasons. This book is, like, heartbreaking, and the characters are so well done. The characters are really, like, complex and gray characters, unlike the movie, which they're better people. They're not, like, great people, and I really like that. And it's more gritty and a little darker and more real. So I really, really enjoy this one. If you haven't read it because you're like, Time Traveler's Wife, then no, it's not like the movie. Although I love the movie, it's not like the movie. So, yeah, I would definitely recommend picking this up if you haven't already. It's real good. Also really enjoyed Big Surprise, Anna and the French Kiss by Stephanie Perkins. I haven't read the other 2 books in this companion series, but when I read this, it was at the perfect time. It was the middle of summer, it was really cute, and I really enjoyed it. And the love story gave me butterflies, and that is what you need from a contemporary. If a love story in a contemporary doesn't give me butterflies, I'm not going to like it, and it won't be on this list. So I'm definitely going to read the rest of the books from Stephanie Perkins in this series. And the last one is kind of cheating, and it's a fairly recent read, but it is My True Love Gave to Me, edited by Stephanie Perkins with a bunch of other authors in there. I really enjoyed this. I read this over Christmas. I have a review for it coming up, which I will link down below eventually when it is posted, but I thought this was very cute. And it showed me a lot of new authors that I hadn't read before, that I had heard of, but wasn't sure on trying. Now I know which authors' writing styles I like because of this, so I really enjoyed this. It is very cute. I'm sure you've heard about it a ton, because everyone's talking about it with Christmas and everything, but yeah. So that is actually it as far as favorites, but as I said, I have a lot of books that I recently bought that I plan on enjoying, I guess. So hopefully I will have more to add to the list in the future. And Dominica Cobbler asks, which was your first book you ever read in your life? And I'm not sure. I've been reading since I was really little, and the first book that I really remember reading were the American Girl doll books. The American Girl dolls came with a set of like 6 really, really short books that were their like life stories and stuff. So I had the Samantha doll, because I am Samantha, and so I had the Samantha books, and I remember reading those on the way to like 2nd grade. Book Geek Movie Freak asked me a very similar question, and that was, what was your favorite book as a kid? Again, those American Girl dolls were really high on the list. And then I don't remember a lot of the books that I read and loved as a kid. I didn't really read the Harry Potters, as you guys may or may not know. I didn't finish the Harry Potter series until I was in college. I read the first 3 books and then stopped because the Dementors scared me as a 5th grader, and I didn't read anymore after the 3rd book until college. And then I picked them all up and read all of them. I think they're all released at the time that I was reading them. So yeah, I didn't grow up with those. They were not my favorites or anything. I'm trying to remember a book that I really remember being a favorite when I was younger. I just read everything and I don't remember it now. JG asked, how many books do you own total, smiley face? I'm gonna count for you right now. Might take a while. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 231. And no, I'm not going to tell you how many of those are unread, but the majority is unread. A good portion of them are read, but a lot of them aren't. I read 70-ish books last year, and I definitely have read all these books, which is a nice pretty chunk. But yeah, and some of them are books that I just have recently hauled but haven't showed you guys yet because the haul isn't uploaded yet, and a good chunk of them, I think about 15 or so, are books that I'm going to actually be giving away, unhauling. Now is a good time to announce that. I plan on doing unhaul giveaways on my Twitter. So if you're not following my Twitter, I would definitely go and do that. I'm going to do like flash giveaways, so just randomly be like, I'm giving away this book, or these 3 books, or whatever, retweet and follow me, and you can get this book. So that's what I'm going to do, to unhaul all my books and do it in those shorter bundles so that you are definitely getting books that you really want. So like I said, it's going to be like 1 to 3 tops at a time. But yeah, that way you're getting books that you really want, and it's not like a whole stack where you're like, I'm only going to read 3 and I don't really want the rest of them. So I have a really large stack right now, and any books that I don't feel like keeping and that I feel like you guys might enjoy, I will be giving away. So check that out. But yeah, I have too many books on my shelf. I know I need to buy another bookshelf because some of them aren't fitting right now, and yeah, I don't want to talk about it. And Frida Weasley asked, do you like anime or mangas? I used to watch anime when I was younger. When I was in middle school and maybe even early high school, I would actually videotape on VHS animes that were running when I was in school, and then I would watch them after school, and I really enjoyed them. So I used to watch Cowboy Bebop. I watched the Tenshis, so I watched Tenchi in Tokyo and Tenchi Universe. I watched the old Sailor Moons. I watched a little bit of Cardcaptor Sakura. Is that it? Oh, I used to love Bleach. Like, a lot. I actually want to rewatch some Bleach, so yes. But I'm surprised I'm not more into anime. I kind of want to get back into it, but I don't really know where to go anymore. So yeah, if you have any recommendations for like really awesome anime that you think I should check out, I'm not guaranteeing that I will, because I don't know when I have the time, but I do like the idea of it. As far as mangas, I have never read a manga. I want to, but again, I don't know where to go, I don't know what to pick up, and it is kind of more of an investment. I'm really into graphic novels right now, and manga series, I mean, it's pretty expensive to get into a manga series and buy those smaller books that are fairly quick to read. I do like the manga versions of some already existing books, like I know the Infernal Device is a manga, I forget which other ones there are, but I do like that idea, so I might kind of start with that. So I got a very similar question from numerous people. So Erin Dillman, The Reading Robot, and Maddie Wood all asked me about tips for new booktubers. And I actually do feel like I have a lot of tips that I could potentially give, but I don't want to oversaturate the booktube community with all these tip videos because there are a lot of them out there. But if you guys really do want a booktube newbies tip video, I will do that for you. I am fairly new too, so I don't want you guys to feel like I'm the expert on booktube, because I'm definitely not. But if you guys want tips or things I feel like worked for me, I am very willing to do that. So comment down below, let me know if that's something that you would like to see from me and that you feel like you would benefit from, because I'd be willing to do that. I just don't want to feel like I'm being pretentious at all, because that's not my intention. But if I could help somebody, then I'd be willing to do that. But really quickly, just a few tips. The biggest tip is definitely be yourself. I know everybody says that, but honestly, be yourself. There's so many booktubers that I have scrolled through as far as like trying to find newer booktubers and stuff, and the biggest turn off for me as far as a channel is to see somebody acting in a way that you can tell is not how they usually would act. The biggest thing is trying to be too quirky. I know that in the booktube community there are a lot of very quirky personalities, and they are all awesome. But if you are forcing that quirkiness and either copying somebody that's like a bigger booktuber just to kind of get more popular, or make a joke that you can tell is kind of fake and forced, or do something like, I've seen a lot of weird hand gestures kind of going around sometimes, that is so obvious, and it's the quickest way for me to click off and not subscribe to you, because it's awkward. Like, I get awkward. I know. Do you guys do that, where you get like a little embarrassed, like secondhand? Anyway, that is the biggest thing, I think, is just to be yourself and to practice, and practice makes perfect. And I'm not saying like don't upload videos, I'm saying upload videos at whatever rate you want to, and slowly you will get better at it. My first videos, if you want to go back and watch, are awkward. I'm really quiet. I had a roommate at the time. It was awkward. I was quiet. I was whispering in front of my window over here in front of the camera. It was not good. So you eventually learn how to get comfortable in front of the camera. I'm sure I'll look back a year from now at these videos and be like, you're so awkward, stop. So, I mean, it's just something, practice makes perfect. So if you want to do booktube, get out there and do it, and just keep practicing as far as uploading new content, and eventually you will get to a point where you're like, I'm really comfortable with that. I am doing a good job now, and I'm not being awkward. And then you won't do any awkward, quirky, weird stuff that's not like yourself. You'll be acting more yourself. They're kind of connected. And the third thing that I personally recommend, not everybody recommends this, but I think it works, and that is to create a schedule for yourself. Decide if you want to upload once, twice, 3 times a week, however many times. I recommend not going over 3 times a week, because I feel like then you kind of oversaturate your channel. There are exceptions to this. Vlogmas obviously is a big time that people are uploading every day. A lot of different YouTubers in general, like Grace and people like that, upload daily. So it kind of depends on you and what works for you, but definitely don't overdo it and don't run yourself ragged, because when you first start a channel, there's so many ideas that you have in your head and you just want to put up all these videos, and I think it's good to just kind of wait, put those in reserve, and upload at a slower pace but at a regular pace, because I think that regular schedule is really helpful for you, for viewers, for really everybody involved. So those are my top 3 right now. Piggybacking off that last question, Brock from Let's Read, who is awesome, asked me, do you have any tips for establishing a consistent video making rhythm? For example, being able to release videos a certain number of times a week. And for me, I pre-film like a lot. I mean, if you go back and you notice, I might even have the same shirt on. If I'm setting up my camera and I have a time to film videos, I will film 2 to 3 at a time. Very rarely do I only film 1 in this circumstance. Obviously I am. There's sometimes that I only have time for 1, but usually I will be filming a lot, and then I'll kind of backlog them, and I'll make sure that I pre-upload stuff so there's no kind of problems with internet connection or anything like that. Like, I will be uploading stuff at least the day before usually. It doesn't always happen, but at least the day before. Sometimes I'll have a week's worth of videos already uploaded, set to private on my channel. So pre-filming and just pre-editing and pre-everything, because it's so easy to run into problems of, crap, my internet's not working, the upload speed's really slow, I don't have time today, I'm sick, whatever, and not getting the stuff up when you want to put that content up. So that is my biggest recommendation as far as having a set schedule. Brock and Patty from I Smell Books both asked me a very similar question as well. Brock asked, how do you find time to make videos against the demands of life, work, school, and reading? Patty said that she wanted to know what my typical day is like and how I balance work, life, reading. That is an interesting question. I don't sleep at night a lot. I stay up really late. I don't recommend this, but my body is just out of whack since middle school probably. I was actually talking to my boyfriend about this recently. I haven't had a normal sleeping schedule since middle school, grade school even, so I am a night owl. I stay up very late and I sleep in when I can. So at night is when I end up doing videos and reading and editing and everything else, and I work best at night. So for example, I have all artificial lighting. I haven't filmed a video during the day since my old camera setup back in front of the window, because that just wouldn't have worked long term because I am most active at night. Also for my job, I do work at home. There are a lot of times I do have to go into the office, but I am allowed to work from home a lot, so that allows me over lunch and stuff to read if I want to, which is really helpful because usually it only takes me like 15 or 20 minutes to eat lunch, and then I can use that time to read or to edit or to watch videos or whatever. And I'm not saying this stuff doesn't kind of go by the wayside. It does. There are hobbies that I don't devote as much time to as I used to, and that's fine because booktube and reading are my biggest passions at this point in my life, and they make me the most happy, so I'm okay with that. But for example, I want to go back to the gym. I used to be really into like weightlifting and stuff like that, and I don't know when I'm gonna have the time to, because between school that's starting up very soon and work and reading and booktube, I don't know when I'm gonna be able to stick that in there. So I'm not the best at balancing things either, but I try to fit stuff in when I can. Like I said, pre-filming, a lot of times when I'm reading, I will read a chapter, watch a video of booktube of all of you, and then read a chapter, da-da-da-da. Video games, I'll do the same thing. I will play video games for like 40 minutes, I'll set a timer, read a chapter, play for 40 minutes. That's what I do just to make sure I kind of get a little bit of everything in. So it's kind of a juggling act, and that's how I work best. I know not all people work as well like that, but I personally work really well doing that and kind of juggling and kind of putting my time in doing everything in little spurts. Another question from Jamie Joyner is, how old are you? And I am 25. Books and Big Hair asked me, what do you do career-wise, and are you working towards doing something book-related as a career if you aren't already? I've mentioned this very briefly before. I am a social worker. I do adoptions for children in foster care, so foster to adopt. I do all of their adoption stuff. And I'm going to school for my master's in social work, and I'm going to be a, hopefully, therapist for the LGBTQ community. I want to kind of specialize in that because I feel like that is a community that is very neglected within the therapy community and the mental health community and is very underrepresented. And there are a lot of things that have come up recently for those of you that are involved with that community and are allies to that community. There are a lot of things that have happened recently between the LGBTQ community and therapists that I think really could be remedied and that I want to help with. So that is what I am going to school for ultimately. But as far as book related, there's also times where I think I would like to do something book related, but I'm not sure what I do. I don't want to write and I don't want to edit or anything. I would love to be the person, like the editor, I guess, of the book covers because I feel like I'm a good judge of book covers personally, but I don't have an art background and I'm not a graphic designer, so I feel like I wouldn't be able to just like jump over that to the book cover critiquer, but that is something I really enjoy. And there might be like some kind of book-related thing I'd be really good at in the publishing community that I just don't know about, but if that comes up magically and I can get a career within books and stuff, that would be cool too. I feel like all of us growing up now, and even the generation before us, are going to have multiple careers. So I'm not saying that I'm going to be a book whatever or a therapist or whatever for my entire life, so I feel like I could ultimately have multiple careers in these different things that I really love. And Sam from Novels and Nonsense also asked a similar question about my profession and what I want to be, so I don't want to leave her out. Sabrina, again from Steakachino, asked, a really hard question that I got when I was doing a Q&A was, who would play you in a movie of your life and what kind of movie would it be? It's tough, but I'd like to hear your answer. So I think it would be Emma Stone, and I don't just say that because she's a goddess and I love her, but I actually had a lot of people, after she was in The Help and she had the curly hair and the glasses, I had multiple people come up to me at work and say, you look a lot like Emma Stone. And that's like middle-aged men, not in a creepy way, not in a creepy way, but people who just don't know that that's a compliment would say that. So I think that she could play me. We both have like the deep voice thing going on and the curly hair and everything else. So I think she could play me potentially in a movie. And it would probably be like a dramedy. I don't know, it depends on what part of my life we're talking about. If we're talking about right now, it'd probably be a boring nothing movie. We get no awards. If we're talking about like late teens, it might be a bit of a drama comedy, yeah. So, yeah, I don't really know. Patty, again from I Smell Books, asked me a very important question, and that is coffee or tea. And I'm not a huge fan of either, don't kill me. So I used to be a very big coffee drinker back in college and when I was first starting my full-time job because I don't sleep at night, I needed to stay up, and I used to drink it a lot, but I do have anxiety, and when I'm having panic attacks and am in a very anxious mood, caffeine is not good for that. No, 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 no. So I go in spurts of drinking a lot of coffee, but I haven't recently, and my coffee isn't even real coffee. It's like creamer and sugar with a dab of coffee. Like it's not real. It's definitely fake. I would like to get into tea, but I don't know what kind of teas I like. I feel like a lot of people really like tea, all these different flavored teas. I know Sabrina from Staccaccino just recently did like a advent calendar of tea, and those flavors sounded good, but I've never had a tea that really tasted like the flavor it's supposed to taste like. So if you have like tea brand recommendations, basically answer all my questions in this Q&A video. But if you have any kind of recommendations on tea, if you're like a really big tea person, leave those down below because I would like to like tea. I just haven't found what I like yet. So the lovely Sarah from Sarah Sunbeams said, totally not a book related question, but do you use the curly girl method on your hair? And what products do you use on your flowing locks? So thank you so much. I love actually talking about curly hair stuff. I do use the curly girl method. For those of you that don't know, it is a method where you don't use certain kinds of products on your hair. You don't use silicone. You do not wash your hair with shampoo. You do wash it, but not with shampoo. And there are different things that you can't use because if you use conditioner to wash your hair, which is what I do, because there are different kinds of cleaners in conditioner that can still wash your hair if used properly, then you can't use different other products because conditioners won't get it out. There are a ton of people who talk about this way better than I do, so I will link some YouTube channels down below for girls who do the curly girl method. There's also a book, which is very informative, that I really enjoyed, and I love this method of doing your hair. Like I said, I haven't washed my hair with shampoo in over 5 years, and I'm not a grease ball. I do not smell like scalp or anything like that. I promise you. I promise, because my friends would tell me. There are a lot of girls with curly hair that do use this method, and I really, really recommend it. So I will link, like I said, the channels and different websites down below if you are interested, because it's described way more eloquently than I possibly could. But I will actually link a couple pictures here of my hair before I started doing this, so you see the difference, because it used to just be kind of like a the curls wouldn't form very well, and there was very rare good hair days, and it was not cute. So as far as products I use, I'll try to make this really quick. I wash my hair with the Suave Naturals Coconut. It smells delicious and it's very lightweight, so I can scrub my scalp with this conditioner and it washes my hair just as good as any shampoo does, but also it is moisturizing so my hair doesn't get dried out. I then use the generic value product of the Biolage Matrix Conditioning Balm for my actual conditioner. I put it through my hair, I scrunch everything kind of in, I do a ton of conditioner of this, and I put it in one of those hair clips while I do the rest of my shower, and it definitely moisturizes my hair and it smells really good. Like, at the end of my shower, I scrunch all of the stuff out of my hair with water like this, like over like this, and then I put in a few different products kind of layered. So the first thing I do is Curly Kinky Not Today, and this is just a leave-in conditioner. It's very light and yeah, it's very lightweight, so I kind of just run that through my hair and scrunch it in. I then do the Curly Hair Solutions Curl Keeper, and that's another one where I kind of scrunch it all over and make sure I kind of run it all over so all of my hair gets coated with it. I don't use very much. It's like a quarter size amount, and it just kind of coats the hair and make sure you don't get a ton of frizz, which obviously is a thing when you have curly hair. And then in the winter and basically whenever it's not humid, so I use this a lot too in the fall and the spring depending on what the weather is, I use the Herbal Essences Curl Sculpting Gel. And again, I scrunch that in turned over like this because I need the volume. I have fine hair, so I have a lot of hair, but the hair strands are very thin, so I do need the volume, so that's why I kind of scrunch when my hair is upside down so I get the like crown volume. For the months that are humid, I use the LA Looks Extreme Sport Level 10 Hold Crazy Blah gel. And yes, this is the gel that the guys used to use to make the wall of hair back in like middle school. Yeah, they did that. I use a very little amount of this, but this definitely holds my hair and makes sure that it doesn't get gross when it is humid out. And as far as the gel, I let my hair air dry with that gel in it, and it forms kind of a gel cast is what they call it, and then I scrunch that out. So my hair is not like sticky or gross in any way, and it's not like, it doesn't look like it's gelled. I scrunch everything out as best I can. I just get the nice formed curls that kind of hold their curl and aren't crazy. I also sleep on a silky kind of pillowcase I just got from Walmart because it helps with the frizz, and I sleep with my hair like this on top of my head in a silk hairband thing. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff that I do for my hair. But there was a girl that I follow on YouTube called Waterlily716, also known as Sarah, and she does stuff very similar to what I do as far as routine and everything. That's where I kind of got all these product ideas from, so I will link her channel down below with everything else. So that was a lot for hair stuff. Hopefully you guys learned a little bit of something if your hair isn't curly, and hopefully I helped people whose hair is curly to kind of get some new ideas. Sam from Novels and Nonsense again asked me a few kind of favorites questions. So favorite music, artist, genre, or band. I'm more of a rock alternative kind of person. I do listen to hip hop sometimes, but not very often. So I'm more of a band person as well, and a lot of my bands are like the more nostalgic bands I used to listen to when I was in high school and stuff, and I just have continued with them up through their careers. So some of them might sound a little weird, but they're people that I have loved for a very long time. So my favorite bands of all time is Blink-182. They were my favorite band when I was in a freshman in high school. Panic at the Disco is one of the first bands I ever saw live, and I've been to about 7 or 8 of their live shows, and I buy every single album that they have on actual CD. I also love Imagine Dragons, Florence and the Machine, Marina and the Diamonds. I'm also really getting into Digital Daggers. Chevelle is one of my favorite bands of all time. Also seen them live a few times, love them. A lot of nostalgia for Fall Out Boy. They are a Chicago band. I'm from the Chicago area, so I have a lot of love for them. I like the older Lana Del Rey stuff. I like a little bit of Mumford & Sons, not too much. If you want to get more of an idea of what I do like music-wise, I have been doing a fictional character soundtrack. I'm going to do another video for that. I've only done one so far, but I play random music from my phone on my iTunes and then match it up to a fictional character or fictional couple or something. So I will link that video down below for you guys to check out, and then you can look at the future videos as well when those are released. She also asked favorite movies. Oh my gosh, a lot. I love all the Pirates of the Caribbean movies. I love the Lord of the Rings movies. I love Inception. I love The Dark Knight from the Batman franchise, obviously. I love Never Let Me Go. I know it's a book, but I didn't realize it until I'd already seen the movie, and I really love the film. I love anything by Baz Luhrmann, so I really enjoy Moulin Rouge. I love Fight Club. I love The Fountain. I really love the 2005 Pride and Prejudice with Keira Knightley. I recently bought that movie because I hadn't owned it, and I've watched it 4 or 5 times since I bought it, and I bought it in November. So yeah, I'm totally that person. I like all the Marvel movies that have come out a lot, although I don't own any of them. I like the Hunger Games movies that have come out, and I have a really soft spot in my heart for Grease because I used to watch that basically on repeat when I was in 5th grade. And she also asked if you could travel anywhere in the world, where would you go first? And that ties to another question from Books and Colors. Any plans to visit good old Europe? I suggest Prague, and I will show you the most amazing places and the best pubs there. Smiley face, drinks on me. So I've actually visited Europe before. I visited Europe in high school, and I went to Greece, Italy, and France, and really enjoyed it. I enjoyed Italy the most, I think. So if I was to go anywhere in Europe right now, I would go to Rome, because I loved it. I only spent 3 days there when we were there, and I really, really enjoyed it. It was a trip in high school, and I paid for all of it myself. I actually delayed not having a car for a while, and I really, really enjoyed that trip, and I wish I could go back now as an adult and enjoy it even more. Rome is amazing, and like nothing I've ever seen. It is incredible, so I would definitely go there. I would love to go to Prague as well. As far as places that I haven't been, I want to go to Ireland. I am Irish, so I want to go back to the motherland. I also really like to go to Australia because it just seems like somewhere I really enjoy, and I was actually going to study abroad there, but I ended up not doing study abroad in college, which I kind of regret, kind of don't. So I definitely would like to go to Australia, although the bugs and the beasts in Australia are insane, and I just, So I don't really know where I'd go first, but I think the motherland of Ireland and Rome and Sydney, Australia are like my top 3 right now. And the last question is also from Books and Colors, and it is, what are you going to do when you reach 10,000 subscribers? You know it's going to happen very soon, smiley face. So again, thank you very much for saying that. I don't have any plans for 10,000 subscribers right now. I hope to do a giveaway. I like doing giveaways at the really big markers, and I think 10,000 is definitely a really big achievement. I already have something planned for 5,000. I'm hoping to get all of the giveaway stuff together by 5,000, fingers crossed. I want to do more book giveaways and stuff like that for the big markers. But after 5,000, I might not be doing a video for every single 1,000 mark, because school is starting soon. I'm not sure if I'll be able to keep on top of that for every single one, but I'd like to do one again for like 8,000 and then 10,000 and then see where we are from there. So if you guys have any ideas or requests for videos that you would like to do that are more like special videos for around those times, I will definitely take those into consideration. Things that you would like to see, just videos you'd like to see in general anyway. If you have anything that you would like me to do, I will definitely consider it. You can put it down below, and it might be something I've never thought of to do or something I'm planning, and I can let you know. I don't have any plans for 10,000. But I do plan on doing more giveaways for these big celebration type things and more like special type videos. Hopefully the inspiration will strike me more often for these so I can continue to do them on a regular basis. But like I said, with grad school and everything, I'm not so sure. So if you don't see them every single time I reach a marker, it's not because I don't love you guys, I do. It's just I'm not sure how often I'll be able to do them. Alright guys, that is it for my first Q&A, but again, thank you all so much for all of your support, for your continued support. I love and adore you guys so much, and you guys make me smile on a regular basis, and thank you for everything. I love you so much. So thank you all for watching, and I'll see all of you guys soon. Bye!